Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Delicious Orie. A year since we last spoke, and a huge amount has changed since then. Most notably, you're going to the Olympics.
I thought he was going to say most notably
the turf. What a year, mate.
Yeah, it's been a real good year. It's been a very good year. I couldn't have asked for it to be any better, to be honest with you. It's just important for me just to keep my head down and to work hard, and which is what I did last year, and I'll do the same thing this year.
When it's an Olympic year, does it feel a little bit different? There's that extra little bit of focus. There's a lot to work towards this year.
Yeah, there is, yeah. At the end of the day, the Olympics is the big one. It's the reason why we're here. It's the reason why everybody, all these photos are here on the wall. The Olympics is the big one, and this is why I'm here right now. So, yeah, there's a bit of pressure, there's a bit of more focus, but that's what it's all about, and I really cannot wait to just go out there and do my thing.
Do you like that pressure? Because you seem to perform under it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I would say I like it. It's definitely, it makes me feel alive. It really does. Yeah. It's quite an out-of-body experience, to be honest, and something that I crave in a way. It's difficult to manage, especially at the start, but over time you get more accustomed to it. And to be honest, I feel like that's the best way to perform, a bit of pressure on your back.
How much has changed in this last 12 months for yourself, going through those Europeans, becoming now where you will become an Olympian? How much have you progressed in yourself and in your boxing career?
I think the most notable, in my opinion, for me personally, is this thing of mindset. I've had a few injuries, like here niggles here and there, after the European Games, but it's how I was able to deal with it. I was never out. I was never, not training or anything like that. It was how are you able to manage these injuries? And not even manage injuries, just manage your body. This is the 7th year as I'll say a proper athlete. Yeah. So you get to know your body over time, and it's just important that for me, in order to carry on this longevity, this road that I've got coming up, make sure that I stay injury free and I look after myself. And I'd say that's the biggest thing I learned.
Yeah. I guess all athletes have to come through adversity. It's something you've done sort of throughout your career, but this latest little bit with the injuries, it's something that you're going to experience at some point. I guess better for it to happen now than in an even tougher moment.
Exactly. So it's always looking at the positive side, and like you said, there's something, as athletes, we're always pushing ourselves to the next level, trying to push that boundary, and it's inevitable that we're going to get niggles here and here and get injured here and there. So it's important how you deal with it and your mindset towards it, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned. How do you deal with it, and how do you just progress and carry on?
When you think about the Olympics, how much excitement is there to travel over and compete at that high level, as you have been doing for many years now, really?
It's something I've been thinking of for such a long time. Starting boxing at 18 years old, that was my dream. Saying, look, I'm gonna get into the Olympics, and I'm halfway there technically because I've qualified. So, and the other half now is to actually get in there and get into the camps and go out there and perform. So, honestly, I can't put it into words how much I'm looking forward to it.
Is it a bit different for you to some of the other athletes in this gym, because you've sealed that? You haven't got these two important qualifiers coming up where they're focused on that. How does that change for the next few months, what they're doing and what you're having to do? I
can't speak for others, in terms of the qualification process. I can imagine it being very difficult, because it was, when I was in the path to qualifying, it was difficult, a lot of pressure, but at the same time for me, it's I feel like I always put myself in the same boat, and I mean that in the sense that I don't look at it as, oh yeah, I've done this now, I'm going to be chilled out now, content, happy. No. It's we've got a statement to make. We've got to do this. It's important to keep on the ball and keep focused. So that's just the way I look at it. I believe pressure and all that, it's relative, depending on what you put on yourself. And I always want to make sure that I'm never content and just satisfied with what I got, because that can be a slippery slope.
When we spoke last time, we spoke a lot about the depth and the quality of sparring that you've had. You look around these walls and there's many heavyweight champions that have gone on to produce in the pro ranks. Is that something that's very much continued for yourself, to spar at that high level with people who are now pro?
Yeah, of course. You look at the walls here, the super heavyweights, they've got medals. They've all gone on to do big, massive things in the professional game. And that has always been my goal after the Olympics, to become a professional and to be the next big British boxer. So it's all part of it. It's all part of the plan. It's all written.
Have you noticed that people are very much still taking notice of you in those professional ranks? I saw you've been to a couple of shows towards the back end of last year. People are starting to think about those approaches and how you get on in the pro ranks.
Yeah. I have noticed it. To be honest, it's like sort of expected, Okay. And I just say, look, I believe the amateurs for me is the real experience building. I don't think I would get better experience than what I'm doing here, where I am today, and in the Olympics. The competition will be the best, in my opinion. I feel like unless I'm, in the world title phase of my professional game, I feel like in the next few months will probably be one of the hardest tests of my boxing career. Because in my opinion, I think that the Olympic medal is the pinnacle of boxing. I'm not taking away from world title boxing as a professionals, but this is tough. So one step at a time, and once I've accomplished this as an Olympian, I then move on to the professional game.
I would like to get your thoughts on some of the big news at the top of the professional game. Anthony Joshua recently signed up to fight Francis Ngannou. We saw what he did against Tyson Fury. I think many were surprised at what happened there. How do you see the fight playing out between Ngannou and Joshua? Because it's one that captures attention, if nothing else.
You know what? When I seen that report, I think it's a really good fight, real good matchup. I do believe Anthony Joshua wins, purely on the skill of Anthony Joshua. He performed very well in his last performance, and if he does the same thing, I believe he takes it. But not taking away anything from Francis Ngannou, he showed a massive display of heart and boxing ability. But I just feel like Anthony Joshua's got that edge in terms of experience, and he's a very good finisher too.
Is Ngannou a world-class heavyweight in your opinion?
Say again, sorry.
Do you think Ngannou's a world-class heavyweight, or?
I think he's only had one fight. I can't say that. I feel like he's a world-class fighter. Yeah. He's a world-class heavyweight, technically, yeah, because he's an MMA fighter, so he is world-class. But is he a world-class boxer? That's two different things, different discipline. It's too soon. I can't say. From what I've seen against Fury, he did a very good job, but you need to earn your stripes, I guess. But fair play to Francis Ngannou. There's nothing but respect for him. As again, huge role model. The things that he's been through, coming up. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see in the next few months. Is it a couple months now, isn't it? But I do think it's a real good match up. It's not like a waste of time or anything. It's a big fight, and I think it's great for boxing.
Yeah. On the other side of the heavyweight division, you've got Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, a fight that's been long touted and long awaited by many fans for a long time. How do you look at that fight, and do you think it's a Tyson Fury victory?
Yeah, that fight needs to happen, of course. We need a unification.
Well, it's signed.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It just has to happen. I believe Tyson Fury wins it purely because I just think Tyson Fury is just a better heavyweight. He's a true heavyweight. I'm not taking anything away from Usyk. I think Usyk is one of the best boxers in the world, and he deserves what he has today. I just think the height and reach and the expertise of Tyson Fury will, over 12 rounds, will just about edge it. But you never know with heavyweight boxing. You really, really never know. So we'll find out.
And final one for you, and the big one. How did the tooth happen?
In this ring here, it was knocked out. It was actually knocked out. 2022 by a boxer called Pat Brown, one of the hardest hitters I've ever been in. I don't know if you've interviewed him already.
He's not been here today.
He's one of the hardest hitters I've ever shared a ring with, and he knocked it out nicely. We'll put it back in, and he just stuck for a year. Somehow didn't come out. And then guess what? Last week we sparred again, and it came out again. So we had to get it out.
I'm sure he'll take pleasure in telling me that story at some point.
He's always got that on me now. I can't say anything. He's got it on me. Yeah.
Good man, Delicious. Really appreciate your time, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Good.